Here we go. It's noon on GrindCityMedia.com, and this is the most special of all shows. It is typically a Tuesday with Tony Allen in studio, but he has brought the friend of all friends. It just so happens that the great Kevin Garnett, working for TNT, is in town, was at the Martin Luther King game yesterday. And I said last week to Tony, I said, I heard Garnett's going to be here for a Jaren Jackson deal. Can you get him? And look at this.
We came through.
KG, if somebody delivers, TA delivers.
Straight up.
They know what's going on,
His
man.
family, though, like TA can get a lot more people in here. He just, TA cool. He don't really deal with everybody. And he ain't gonna be on your line. He ain't gonna be blowing you up for nothing. So I knew when he hit me, it had to be something serious that that he was true to heart about. So it was nothing. He came on my show. It was only right that whatever bro wants, that's what it is.
Hey, you did come in town because you are going to be doing a TNT bit with Jaren Jackson Jr., who I guess you're catching up with again because you guys had caught up before the draft even earlier this year. You had certainly taken a liking to Jaren. He got a lot of the, especially, anytime he puts together the stats, it's always like the last guy to do that at this age was Kevin Garnett. You're always on some kind of list with him, and he's a guy that is a willing defender also, and he's long, and so he gets a lot of the comps, right?
He has a lot of compliments that are very similar to my own game, which was the first time I took to like him. His father played in the league, so he's come under that cloth of having someone kind of navigating, and he works hard, which is something that I tell you, man. That's what it is about. For me, at least, when I'm teaching, I like to teach kids who have some of the same makeup as myself. Look to themselves to be different, and want to be different and want to be better. So, I'm here catching up with him. Area 21, we here to catch up with him. I went to the game last night, see how he played real well. Things that I see, just critiquing. I want to be able to help him today and go over some of that, and that's why we're here.
What do you see in him?
First off, man, he's a quiet defender that I don't think gets a lot of due. But you're a rookie. You don't really get a lot when you're a rookie. These are the days in which you're supposed to be ticked off about things, or things are supposed to annoy you, because coming from college and high school, being entitled, a lot of these kids are entitled now, so they expect things to come a little quicker. And I just told them that when you're being great, it's always a lesson. It's always a road. It's always a journey. Just when you think you know everything, you go through something new and you learn something new. I love the fact that he's a learner. I like the fact that he's a worker, that he's eager to learn and he wants to learn. A lot of superstars these days, I think you can't really tell them anything. It'd be hard to tell a guy like LeBron or KD anything, dealing with their journey. But to be honest, that's the way you become great. You got to continue to listen. You got to continue to apply the things that you learn. And I see him having a lot of them learning traits, man. I love working with him.
Who was the guy for you?
Guy for me was Kevin McHale, Sam Mitchell. Kevin McHale took a liking to me just because of my energy and how my attention to detail. Started showing me a lot of things that go on in the post. I started catching on to him. Sam Mitchell and Terry Porter was more like teammates, and great teammates, OGs who taught me the game, taught me how to prepare, taught me how to come in and see the game for a different look through it through a different eye. I was coming, from high school, so my longevity was not even expected to be what it was. So I came in having a chip on my shoulder with that, and just ran with it. I let the work ethic and the work speak for everything else that I couldn't explain or articulate. And at the end of the day, when I couldn't play or I couldn't run as fast as jump the highest, I leaned on the work ethic, and it got me another 5 to 10 years.
Tia, you brought him up like 1,000 times over the years.
Yeah, we're similar, bro. Me and TA got a lot of
same cloth.
A lot of same cloth.
Right.
He understands. We
Definitely the same cloth.
Right, and obviously you guys had those unbelievable years with the Celtics, but you were a young player on those teams, and then they bring in Paul's already there, who you looked up to, and then they bring in Kevin, they bring in Ray Allen, right, and all you guys are together, and he talks about the hard work and this kind of stuff. Just immediately when he walked into the locker room, like, what do you remember about Kevin Garnett coming in? Because you were already there at the Celtics,
Well,
and then he walks in and what?
All I know is when he came in the room, whenever he came in the room, it was like one of those sergeants coming. Like, you better get on your, because he taking the game so serious. It's from shoot around to coming into the game, during the game, 30 minutes before the game. It's just all focus and routine. Right. And at first, I ain't understand it, seeing that, because I was just so loose and just everywhere before a game.
Cracking jokes.
Just cracking jokes, being a prankster. And I ain't know that he was doing that for a better purpose. You see what I'm saying? He was doing that to keep that 20-10-5 going, to help win the game, to be able to get the biggest stop. It's routine mentality. And that's one of the biggest things I took from him. And I applied that as soon as I got here, man. I made sure I took the same road to the game. If it was a detour in the road, I'm talking about I was be upset. And if I can't get my right pregame meal sent to me, like it'll throw it off. And I learned all that just watching him do the same thing every game.
Everything was routine.
Like he'd come in, sit, he'd say what up, have his headphones in, chill, get a vibe, get the heat pack, put it on the floor, got his feet on the heat pack, zone it. And I know y'all want to hear the story.
Please.
Which one day,
he told the story.
One day I messed up the routine, and like I say, I didn't know what this was about.
I'm a dragon. And he'll tell you, and if anybody come in the circuit, into the circuit, in that little circle.
Kevin, he said he got some brand new, beautiful Beats headphones.
The new Gucci Mane mixtape just came out and everything.
Oh, man. Shout to Gucci, man, because
Shout to Gucci.
TA put Gucci on. You hear me? We didn't know who Gucci was. We was all Jeezy. Man, he came in the locker room with this Gucci, man, and turned that joint up on like 50. Oh, no.
Look, the beats come out, right? So all I remember is Ticket in there, just zone. I think we was playing one of them premier matchups where, you know, the matchup was him and Big Fella. Yeah. So I'm just seeing him over there. Like he's literally just
yoga. Everything's about
just
a breath.
Breathing hard as hell. so I'm like, man, I'm looking at Perk and I'm like, man, what's wrong with Big Fella? Big Fella's on. So he ain't saying nothing to us, but he got his headphones in and he's like breathing hard. So I'm like, all right, man, I ain't trying to hear this shit. So I put on my Beats by Drake. Now I'm zoning. He got on some little bitty little headphones.
I can hear everything. Look, I don't know if y'all noticed, but Beats, when they first came out, had no trigger. They had no volume. So the luxury of it is that you could be sitting on the floor in another room and you can actually hear
the words.
And I was like, so I tapped it. Hey, bro, could you turn them down? And he was like, what? What? And it was just two dragons talking, but we got some great understanding.
Yeah,
and we went out and killed somebody that night.
We killed somebody that night.
We hugged, and that was the great. That was the great part of that team.
Right then and there,
no sensitive guys in that locker room.
Do not turn that music up while he over there breathing.
Right. There was a lot of things not understood, but got some understanding.
But he was the alpha male of the locker room anyway, though. You know what I'm saying? So it's like he was our heart, like he was our Debo. Like, he was our, like, all right, Big Fella, what we gonna do?
I was Big Brother.
You know what I'm saying? And Big Fella be like, man, we ain't coming out, we ain't dapping nobody. Man, hey, this is what we on. Matter of fact, when we finish, we going out to eat. Right. Like, he kept that type of energy going through the locker room. So it was kind of hard to try to bag the dip for anything he had going.
You just let it go.
Yeah, but I took that same approach.
Right, brought it here.
When you're young, and that, because I'm sure you tell all the young players, right? Get that routine. You got a guy right here who ended up having an unbelievable career, especially as a defensive stalwart for so many years, and he learned from you, and he looked up to you. And when you talk to these young players, I'm sure you try to transcend that to them. Were you always like that? Like, at what point in your career was that Boston KG? Was that always Minnesota KG in terms of the whole routine and the talk, the breathing and the being that guy that was taking everything so seriously?
Well, one of them things I had to learn as a young guy was to take the game serious. And, I was young, too. I was like TA. I would come in, I'm showing my age now. We had compact disc players, and you had the little rinky-dink headphones, and and you can only turn it up to 9 or 10. And I remember, you know, coming in like that when, you know, me rapping out loud and these old heads like, what is he doing? And I'm up here, you know, saying the words and I'm using my hands and I'm bumping you in the chest. They didn't understand none of that. And it was just young swag, and I didn't have any routine. And then, you know, when you come into the league, you have a shooting time. You got a certain coach you work out with. You got certain things you got to work out in the weight room. You got a whole schedule that's, you know, you don't have no help. It's on you. So over that first year, I learned the routine. And through that routine, I added things to that. You know, because I used to be super huge on, you coming from high school, bro. We drink a lot of sodas. You drinking a lot of Gatorade. These are high energy products, right? I'm adding coffee in it because in the morning it wakes me up. But not knowing how to deal with this energy or keep it centered, I had to go to yoga for that to learn how to breathe. When I started beating people, I started telling them about it. I started throwing shots, talking. It was just to get myself going because I'm coming from the goal. You know, I'm coming from the goal, and when you play in the goal, you play with an attitude and a presence. So I'm coming with that. Sam Mitchell and some of my OGs taught me how to put it in formality, control it, because guys started wanting to get me out of control. I couldn't. I was getting into fights. I was getting kicked out of games, and I was no good to my team. So I had to learn how to be a leader. I would yell at guys. I would do all this other stuff, and through that, those trials and tribulations, man. I think the Boston Kevin was a Kevin that was cleaned up from Minnesota that had went through good and bad, had a bit of a success or had a taste of success, and then knew what he wanted going to Boston. And what TA not telling you is that as much as they taking from me, I'm taking from them too. I'm watching TA on Kobe, how he's digging at the ball, how he's stimulating, how he's getting the defenders to turn their back, or how he's getting offensive players who are really good to turn their back. I'm watching how he getting through picks, and I'm checking how we both talking. You throw Paul Pierce in there, you throw Rondo in there, you throw Perk in there, you throw guys in there that wanted to play defense. And I saw their pedigree. Plus, I knew his people back in Chicago. We had some ties off the floor that kind of connected us. And then once we had a chance to talk, it all was synergy. Once I can remember, man, not only were we not doing everything together, but we was doing everything together. You know what I'm saying? Other than everybody having their own room, man,
so the off the court stuff becomes
that kept it real smooth.
That's
on
what
the
kept
court.
it real smooth.
Like
because there wasn't no sensitive guys on our team. So he could curse at me, and I'll curse back out, and then 5 minutes later we high five.
I was about to bring that up to where in the pick and roll situation, that's probably one of today's toughest plays.
Because you got to talk.
If you ain't talking, you're not getting through that play.
Right.
And at the defensive schemes we was playing, we was having Ticket be up in the screen. Sometimes he'll show, he'll sag sometimes. Right. But if it was somebody that was killing us, he'd be like, Kill, I need you getting through that screen. Don't get picked through that screen. Right. And I know for a fact I'm going to bite through this screen because I know Ticket going to be there.
Right.
He's going to be there for me.
And I would say that. I'm here every time.
Don't worry about it. Just get through that screen.
Right.
I'm busting through the screen, and that kind of helped me because I was programmed in practice. From sticking Paul. Right. This the pick, man.
Right. I said great picks. That's why all the guards like me. You can get through a Ticket pick, you doing something.
I'm going to shoot through any other pick. Right. So I think that helped. And just like I say, I'm learning from him. He learning from me.
The only regret I have, man, is that I didn't come to Boston sooner. Real talk. I should have came 2 years before that.
I remember
you know what I'm saying?
We had Rafe LaFrance. He caught a tip dunk on Rafe LaFrance.
But
so
Rafe
crazy.
didn't want no problems with me, and I knew that. I'm an animal! I remember that. In front of the owner of the team, I screamed in his face.
You screamed at the owner of the Celtics?
Right. Ask Paul, ain't T.A. like that?
Hey,
Caught a tip dunk.
Hey, man, Ticket screamed so loud, man.
I'm an animal!
that was the topic of the locker
They said, we got to go get this guy.
Right. 2 years later, I was there.
All right. So, at what point do you think you were talking about going through Minnesota and how the Boston KG was different? You were obviously, he called you an alpha. That's a wired thing. People are either wired as alphas or not. So you always had that in you. At what point did you feel like you could be the guy that is talking to people, right? Because if you're a Jaren Jackson or whatever, he obviously doesn't feel like he's in the place where he can walk into a locker room and tell people, hey, do this, do that, or start barking at people.
He just ain't said it. He has an opinion. Everybody walking through that locker room want to say something.
Yeah.
Everybody through that locker room, probably don't like TA's shirt or don't like something that somebody, but it's a respect thing. You're a rookie, you falling back. It's all about perception and what you're gathering. So I can see him second year saying a little more, third year. Because he's been here.
What year was it with you?
Man, it's my second year, man.
Second year?
I ain't gonna front, man. They had got rid of all the OGs. Sam Mitchell was left. They had got rid of Christian Laettner, J.R. Ryder. They had got rid of Terry Porter. And coming in was like Googs and Steph. Steph and I were best friends. So we figured, man, we the new Jacks on the block right here. It's up to us. So I started really honing in. And then when I signed the big deal and I saw how management and how the league and how people expect you to play when you get paid a lot of money, that's what started to turn my kind of fun years of laughing and bunt, and I started really locking in because I was making a bunch of bread, and I had the biggest contract. We had locked out. They was putting everything on.
All that was on your mind?
All that, bro, because when you out there, you hearing somebody at the free throw line shoot something. You hearing crowds over. You hearing the crowds, but at the same time, it's fueling me. It's fueling me from when I'm out the court. Man, listen, I was one of the very few that actually spent my own money to go play against guys in their place. I would go to Sugar Land and go down to Houston and play against those guys. I'd come up to Chicago because I knew all the guys there, and I'd play up there. Then I'd go down to Atlanta, play at Peachtree, go up to New York City, play at Basketball City. I would go out that night to see who was out. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna see y'all in the gym tomorrow, right? We hooping tomorrow, right? Yeah. And oh man, that's when I got better. I went everywhere and played. That's why I'm known in Chicago. I would play on the south side, play on the west side, play over north, play on the east side, play on Malcolm X, Roosevelt, INT, LeClaire Courts, man.
LeClaire
Oh,
Court,
man,
oh.
all these, man, Mars Center, you know,
These are-
all these places. You need to know somebody to go over
Places in
here.
Chicago
Kenny King, all these
where
are
you get your
ill
name
places,
at.
bro.
You get your name at
the
these
Village.
places in Chicago.
Man, these are all ill places, bro. You can't go over here unless you somebody and you know somebody over here.
Tough areas. too.
Where's the roughest one you've ever played on?
LeClaire. Probably
LeClaire. LeClaire and probably Kenny King, because them all Southside guys. You got to go on the South Side. When you live on the West Side, Kenny King probably
King was
80
tough back
something,
then.
man. That's deep. That's almost right when you get to before you
that's
get to the
kinda
Wild
tough.
Hunters. Man, Kenny King, you're going to see all the Carver guys, all the Martin Luther King guys, all the guys who play on the South Side, they're going to be over there. Nice to be over there Monday morning,
Yeah,
bright and
man.
early with 3 other West
Did you ever
Side
get a chance
guys.
to play with Michael Herman?
Man, played against Mike Herman, played against Big
Another
Curtis
Chi-Town
Gaines,
legend.
all these guys.
But these guys are legends
All
to
these
you,
are legends,
Tony.
I'm naming, man.
And-
Shaw Griffin,
And when I
Antoine Walker.
first played against, it's crazy, when I was in high school, I was like a junior in high school, and I got a chance to play in like a summer league outside tournament. And I faced up with Michael Herman. I didn't know who he was because he didn't get a haircut. He had his hair
Legend,
all just.
Chicago legend.
And he wasn't playing good at first, but the moment I crossed him over and got a bucket, man, the man went for like
Turned
9
around.
straight. Like, for
This
real. I was like,
is
this Michael Herman.
This is Chicago legend.
Yeah, shout
Went
out
to
to Mike
Indiana.
Herman.
And this is rough.
Well, I'm just telling you that, you know, my makeup and how I came into the league was all because of how, you know, I was coming into the league. I come from playing everywhere, playing against your best and, you know, giving some, getting some. But that's how you learn how to play, and that's how you get better. And I carried that to the league with me.
You know that the Grizzlies are going through this immense struggle right
Part
now.
of it, man.
They're 3-17 over their
Part of it.
last 20. You see the veterans, and even yesterday, a lot of people noticed that there you were on the court, grabbing Marc Gasol aside and talking to him before that game even started. Obviously, you don't want to probably divulge everything you impart to him, but like, you know, you attempt to, you go to all these arenas across the league and you try to give back to the game, right? You're going to go talk to Jaren Jackson today, but there's even a veteran guy. It's not even young guys. That's a veteran guy who's been around for a long time that you wanted to at least take the time to go talk to. And what kind of message are you trying to get across?
Let me get y'all to understand something with having TA in here every day with you guys. You guys get to be around the presence of a champion every day. That's not given, that's earned. You know, he earned that. Them stripes and badges he wear every day, that he gets to sit here and do that, you earn that. With that comes a responsibility. He has to teach that. That knowledge he has up here, he has to give that back in ways where it facilitates our game to keep growing. So when I run up on a young guy and I see him, I see a little bit of me in him, it's my duty to give him that. So when I see Mark, who's going to be a great player and go down as a great player in our game, not only that, but to the universal part of basketball. He's not just a domestic kid. He's universal. He plays in the Olympics. He's in Spain. You know what I'm saying? That's huge. So with that, I feel a real duty to another guy with a superpower, younger, for me to give that due. Yeah, he has a brother that he can, you know, obviously talk to at any time, but he has multiple brothers in our league that you can pick up the phone and talk. And I would just reestablish him with him to get him to understand his legacy and what he's built here through these years. When he goes back and tell his stories about him being in Memphis, and don't ever forget about that. It's a responsibility to yourself and your legacy. And He shook, he dabbed, he asked some questions, whatever. I answered it as honest as I could, but that's who we are. We're champions who have to give this knowledge back, We're going to have kids, we're going to have multiple kids in our lives and where we're going to have to give this knowledge to, but our kids are in our league now, have to give the knowledge back.
When you see a team that it just feels so broken, like as soon as the big run happens, and it's now happened like 4 or 5 games in a row, everybody's got their heads down and everybody just feels defeated. I mean, I'm sure you've been in situations before during the course of your career where you go through a super rough time, right?
Yeah. That's when you need that voice the most.
Yeah, right. And at that moment,
I think that was big in Tigger's role when he played with the Celtics in 2008. Like, it'd be rough days, and we get back to practice and take it to one motor and everybody up.
Man,
like,
let's get through this, man. We're gonna get ourselves out of this.
You know what I mean?
And that's how you gotta look at it, man. And when you want something, you grind like you want something.
And that's what I think they missing the voice in that right now. Like, we've been talking about that for the last 2-3 weeks. Somebody got to go ahead, just speak about the elephant in the room and show the role of leading by example.
Is there a special kind of guy, like, we're reading all these stories about, and you saw the Kyrie stuff recently where he calls LeBron, and there's been all these talks about leadership. You saw Jimmy Butler and what he went through in Minnesota with Karl Towns and Anthony with Andrew Wiggins. You've got young guys like T.A. and Rondo and all, like that Perk and all these young guys that you had in Boston. And obviously they had this immense amount of respect for you.
They were knuckleheads too, though, man.
Yeah, but it feels like with every leader, right, there's a fine line between respect and resent that gets crossed a lot where young guys end up resenting the guy that cares so much about winning, and they just tune him out or whatever.
We all care. First off, we all care. So one thing you can't do, I can't say I care more than TA because I'm in here, I'm serious, and TA over here laughing in the corner about something that was funny. No, they don't give a range from whether he cares or I do. Mm-hmm. How I prepare and how he prepares is two different things. What I try not to do is make like I had all the answers. I'm not right. I'm out here messing up, and when I make a mistake, I have to be able to take that ridicule or whatever. If I don't show first thing about something on the pick and roll, it's about the guy that's in the pick and roll. So I always took that account. The hell with my man, Perk get me, or the guy who's responsible to help me, but I'm here to help whatever. So with that, I never wanted to come off like I had all the answers. And it's a team. Coach is putting guys in and out of the game. We're not subbing ourselves. So you have to make sure that within the confines of a team, man, you guys talk to each other like a team. Like I said, we was very, very, no hands ball. We talked to each other very, very openly, and we wasn't sensitive. I think the biggest problem with these days is that these young guys didn't have an OG to kind of see how it's done. When he sat back and went through stories about how he and what he took with him to Memphis to bring here, he took that from somebody. Well, Mark and Mike, I don't know what they've been around to be able to say or to look at or to lean on and say, well, when things got tough when I was younger, we did this. Mm-hmm. These guys are your leaders on the team. These are the guys that's got to step up and speak on different things. Coming from high school, man, you got to think to yourself, man, if I don't see it, then ain't nobody else going to see it. So I used to always come in here and be like, nobody's going to come. You know how the old saying is, no one's coming through the doors to save you. No one's coming through the doors to give you anything. You got to create this for yourself. You go through tough times, tells you a lot about who's on your team.
But when you're screaming at somebody or you're getting on even a teammate, right, and you can tell he's not taking it well, then, right?
Right.
Is that to hell with this guy? Because it feels like that's what happened with Butler, right? You just say, he's a lost cause, man. He don't want it like I want it.
No, not even that, man. You learn how to, as a leader, you learn how to lead in all walks. Some guys don't react to yelling. Mm-hmm. Some guys react to when you pull them right along and you having a one-on-one with them and it's just you. Some guys feel like you're embarrassing them when you're speaking to a group of people. So I had to learn that through through years of just learning how to be a leader. Some guys, I'll say something to the whole group and then I'll grab somebody to the side and say something in his ear and it'll be more effective versus me pointing at them. And then it's going back and forth too. Right. Guys are saying something to me too and you have to be open to take both criticism and give it. So the ones who I feel like are not as sensitive are the ones who actually want to be better. But in every team, man, you got leaders, and your leaders got to be the ones your coach can only do but so much. JB can only do but so much. When it comes to that locker room, that's got to be a Mark and Mike thing, and that's and it gets no, and just straight what it is.
Tia, you think some of it though is just both of you guys, you kind of cut from the same cloth. You're comfortable
crazy
going
that
and playing in the South Side. There's a lot of guys, even in the NBA right now, they ain't going to those courts.
No,
you know
whatsoever.
what I'm
And
saying,
the
right?
crazy
And
thing
so,
is
of course, you can take it because
delivery.
there's nothing that you right. It doesn't matter.
The delivery, like, it's crazy for me because I kind of liked it. I always talk about how Coach Hollins
Right.
was kind of mean, but he brought the best out of me.
Yeah.
Like, tough love is what I call it.
Yeah.
And
That's what you respond to.
I respond to that so well. Like, I can remember sometimes you get your ass over the ticket or watch the pig.
Right.
I'll be like, all right, okay.
He needed
I'm going to
that.
show
Right.
his ass next
And he
time.
needed that.
Still. You know what I mean? And it different stroke for different folks. Some people take it the right way. Some people curl in the situations. I know a few players I done played with and got yelled at and just straight tuck their tail. We're going to keep that anonymous.
And that's the majority.
You know.
And that's majority though.
But I don't know. It's just all the been and out with delivery. With you got a superstar like Mike and Mark.
Yeah.
He been in that position, and they in that position right now. So, like you say, they gonna go as they go. When Mike and Mark come to the locker room demanding 110% out of everybody and willing to, just get on somebody's ass. And just that simple effect, it's a snowball
This
effect
is
with
what I
everybody.
think for everybody
But making
out
sure
there.
they do it too, yo. You can't get on somebody
That's
and be
right.
on somebody if you ain't out here. I listen. I bet if Mike plays like he mad that he didn't make the All-Star team and go for 50 every night, it'll be a different team.
Right.
You understand?
Instead of being
Your
upset.
energy is, I didn't make it, I'm cool, I'm off. Nah. You know what? I'm gonna show y'all why I should have made it. I'm gonna go 50. I'm gonna go 5 nights where I go for 50.
And
Change your energy, bro.
And
Right.
I'm feel this way though. I'm a feel
Saying,
this
right?
way.
What you mean? I didn't make the All-Star team. What?
You know, one of the
Now
most
go
confident
opposite.
guys I know is Paul Pierce.
What? Paul Pierce missed 15 in a row and think he made 15 in a row. He don't shit. I'm dead. He's like, man, that rattled in and out. That's a mate. Oh, man, that went around. Oh, Paul Pierce does not think.
Say if I miss more than 2 in a row, there's something wrong with the rim.
And he's not laughing. He's dead. You know, he's dead.
So there's wrong
That's
with
the
the rim.
kind of confidence I need in
Right.
Mike and Mark. Like,
Right.
the hell, if I shoot 20 shots and I only make 5, tomorrow, you know what, I'm going to go 12 for 12.
Right.
I got to have this mentality. I got to feel this
And
way.
I think
You
the
know what I mean?
response we got yesterday, people watched that and they're so upset. And somebody said to me this morning, a fan said, what makes me the angriest about all of this and everything that's taken place, because the season started off well and now it's gone to hell so far, is I'm more angry than they are. I really feel like I'm more angry than they are. When that third quarter run happens, they don't sense people angry. They sense people sad on the court, right? Whereas they're kicking their seat, pissed off they spent $300 and they're going to their car to beat traffic. Yeah. You know what I mean? That's the tough part.
And as
right?
a group, you got that's as a group. That's when you're supposed to come together. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
And especially in adversity, through adversity, these probably were the dog days of their season right now. If they can just, get a couple good practices, lined up and just build from that, I think it'll turn around. Cause what they at right now? 15. What number they is?
Listen, I'm gonna tell you
14th
something.
in the West.
Hey, listen, bro. You can do anything in this league as long as you do it together. And a lot of people don't think that things come from practice, but what you don't know is good practices transcend into the game.
Right.
You
All
talk.
the time.
You know what Doc used to make us do, especially because we all were new the first year? He didn't care what happened. At the end of whatever we do, we had to touch each other. Like we'll go straight into a cussing out of almost getting ready to scrap, and then 2 seconds later had to high five because it was in Mbutu. So
I remember that.
if I was out and we in LV and I'm buying me something, and oh no, here come TA and Baby up the steps and they had something in their hand, technically they could throw it on the counter, and I had to get it, and it was in Mbutu, and they knew that. So guys were like, hey man, in Mbutu, man, I need this skull, it's cold out here. So a couple times they went through, but then you catch them on that, they trying to in and out. But
Is that where you got that hat, Tony?
no. But that's kind of the example of, hey,
Right.
look, we had a disagreement, but we're still brothers, and that was the connection.
And I like that part right there.
Doesn't that have to come from within, though? You guys all, that's organic, right? A coach can't make that happen.
Nothing wrong. We were wrong, man, and we
I
just
think
all
that
bonded,
did it,
bro.
and them guys went ball.
Just did something together that we all
and
committed
Somebody got to set that tone though. Like,
to. Right. Hey, you always got to have a dog. Paul was our leader who spoke.
Yeah,
After
he was
that,
a vocal.
me.
Yeah.
Paul going, hey,
Vocal.
man, we got to da-da-da-da-da. No, that was Pete Pierce. He's going to save us when we need the game winner. He's going to score all the points. The big guys had to get the small guys open, and on defense, we got to talk. So with all that ideal of, we filled in the holes in that. We got a guy who can score. Here come our premier. Here come TA, and we all knew. Like we just all knew. But that circle of organization, if not that structure, came from the coach, and they got passed down through how we were as the pedigree of the guys on the team. We had a really different.
Yeah,
Doc coached us really hard.
I'm
and we
interested
loved
to
it
hear
really
what you
hard.
think about coaches because you played for a lot of coaches over the years, and people will say like, at some point, coach can't say anything else. He's thrown whatever he's gonna throw. He has said whatever he's gonna say. He goes into these huddles, and he can't yell anymore.
At the end of the day,
you
it's
know
on
what I'm saying?
players, bro.
Like,
At the end of the day, it's on players. Players can get coaches fired, and they can get coaches promoted and get extensions. But at the end of the day, it's on the players. It's players' league.
yeah. And so there's just you come to a point where,
Man, if I
what
was
do you
Mark,
expect?
If I was Mark, I'd come in here and try to get 40 every night. And I'd be so aggressive, and I'd be trying to
Challenge.
dunk on guys. I'd be screaming, I'd be getting texts. And then the energy that the people like, oh, look at the energy is repetitive.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You show people you care.
Good and bad, right? Because
Absolutely.
the second everybody's head goes down, it's here we go again.
And look, you
It
got some good
impacts the whole team.
You got some good mentors over there. There's Jerry Stackhouse over there, Tayshaun Prince. Those weren't no nonsense guys. Those are guys who cared, who play for play with other greats and have a pedigree about themselves. Tayshaun Prince ain't no
love
walk in the
Tayshaun,
park,
man.
Jerry
Big shout
Stackhouse
out
ain't
to
no walk in the
Tayshaun,
park. Jay Bickerstaff ain't no walk in the park. All these are grind guys that fit this mold here.
Right.
You just got to bring in these players that understand. I'm telling you, Jaron, man, he's the future because he has a different perspective, but he has a different makeup and all that. You can coach him hard. You can MF him, and he not going to a. You know what I'm saying? He comes from Izzo and Michigan State. That's a grind. That is a grind factory. They teach you to be tough up there. They make boys into men up there.
Grand
Hey,
factory.
Tony tried to intimidate the kid.
No, he's supposed to.
First time he met him.
Hey,
Supposed
first
to.
time I met, I wanted to know. I
You gotta
just
see
want
what
to
he
see.
on.
What's up?
See what he on. Oh no, I ain't going.
And he was like,
What's up?
yeah, I'm gonna seek and destroy. I'm gonna kill me somebody. I'm like, okay,
He on it.
my man.
He on it. He on it. He's
Well, I
taking
mean, he's
away.
obviously, you're right, like you have pinpointed it. Listen, you don't have to come to Memphis.
No.
You're only here because that kid
He's
is
sucking
here.
my young boy.
I saw you yesterday talking to his mother, who's very involved in the WNBA and their Players Association. I know she's
Yeah.
mom and dad are around all the time, right? Father was a former player. Mom very involved in the basketball world. He's got great family background, right? And they have moved here even, right? They got a house here and they're around and they are helping steward him along, through his career. And this is now the trials and tribulations of that rookie year. You start off 12-5. Your starting power forward gets hurt in JaMychal Green. He breaks his jaw. So now the kid's in the starting lineup. Now you're 12-5 starting the year. People are like, this might be Luka and Jaren. You know what I mean? Like everybody's on this Luka stuff, but look at this kid in Memphis. He's got 37 in Brooklyn. Everything's going wild for him, right? And they're heaping praise, and he's starting. He's putting up big numbers faster
big
than
upside.
people expected. Oh my God, could this guy be the next KG? Did we have an Anthony Davis on our hands? And now it's like with everybody, it has been this total. Nothing's been fun, right? When you lose 17 to 20 games,
Well,
And
and
the outside noise.
and the numbers aren't there, and
I'm gonna give you some play to that for all you listeners out there if we want to learn some basketball. I'm gonna give y'all some jewels over your head right quick. So when you start a year, and I'm using the first 15 games, and you're a rookie, Tia, you can chime in on this. No one knows your game. No one knows your two dribble pull up that you had in college. No one knows your one dribble spin off and get the left hand. No one knows your come middle, turn on fade away middle. No one knows that. But after 10 to 15 games, you start to show some transparency on what your consistency is. When you get jammed up, what do you do? Oh, okay. So now the league knows Jaren's game a little bit. They know he likes to use his left hand. So look, he's playing like a left-hander. Do this. Crowd him. He doesn't have a lot of lift. Look, on the three ball, make him put it down on the floor, two dribbles, three dribbles, make him use a dribble. So now you have the league adjusting to your game. Guess what you have to do?
Work on those counters. You gotta work on
Come
those
with something else. And that's why
You only get to go through it once.
not even that, but you come through unknown one time, and after that,
Right.
we know you. So now your summers and your time with your coaches during the year is about getting counters and how they playing me and making adjustments around that. That's what I love about the league. The league builds you up, and you have a chance to keep building yourself up. But it's all about what the work and how much work you put into yourself to make those differences. And those differences are called growth. And that's what you're seeing now. Not only his team going through something, but he's never played these many games, and he has a whole nother 3-4 months to go. So this ain't easy. He playing against the best of the best. He getting a day to rest. His body's never did this. So he's making those adjustments physically, mentally. This is nothing easy. On top of that, he's traveling. On top of that, Green's back now. You know, he has a bunch of other stuff worried about. So this is the transformation on how the team or how the season goes in a lot of times.
When I talked about how you didn't have to be here, I've got to imagine that, and you might not be unless your first interaction with him, something about him made you care,
No doubt.
right?
I told you, I see a lot of myself in him, bro. He's just a little shorter, and he has a better left hand than I do, but a lot of, in the 3-ball. You know, he has a lot of confidence in himself. I think he can do more than what he's showing. And I wouldn't have wasted my time nor my efforts to come out here and make sure to work with him or to holler at him, you know, if I didn't see those things.
Yeah, you have talked about, Tony, that like even now, right, kind of being around but not being around, that like you wanted to pick your spots, even reaching out to a Mike or a Mark or anybody like that, because you don't know. You don't know if it's your place to, you know what I mean, step in right now. But I know how deeply you care about what's going on, what goes on in this arena, and you feel like a responsibility almost because of what you guys built, and now you see it before your eyes. That's not grit and grind, man.
No,
I mean, you know what I mean?
not.
That's just not what's happening.
It's not. But one thing that's in Mike's DNA is he is a defensive first guy. You know, get the team in order kind of guy, you know. Some more like Russell Wilson, so to speak. You know, he got that type of vibe in the locker room. He's very well-spoken, nice to all the guys. Like I say, I'm going to keep harping on it. I'm just not used to that type of leader, you know what I mean? I'm used to a vocal guy. I'm used to a guy that's just calling out what's going wrong and speaking heartily about it. And I just think that's where it's going to start at, man. And I've been around Mike.
All right, so KG, we're counting on you to turn Jaron into that.
Hey, look.
Because, I mean, what is this guy going to pop up out of the grave? I mean, we ain't got it.
Now, what's going to happen is organizations are going to make some moves. And when moves and things when that starts happening, then the whole makeup of what this all started as, or what you know Memphis to be, or these yesteryears are starting to kind of going into the progression. And
well, and we know the future is that kid.
Yeah.
Everybody knows that. You're right. He was just taken high in the draft, and
That's what
you
we're gonna
see
see.
the talent, right? I mean,
what we're gonna
everybody sees it. And so what you've got to hope is, you know, he's a rookie right now, but
he cares,
he does care.
and that's what management cares about.
Did you see that last night when they lost? Did you see any possessions where he just –
Well,
Nope.
I think that he's a rookie and doesn't necessarily want to sort of outstep his bounds. But is he ticked off? Is he mad because they losing? He ain't used to this. He ain't used to, you know. He won't. Man, I can did it. So you know, part of that is that's young. That's being a bit, you know, you being young. But let me get you to understand something.
I'm gonna tell you this.
Season goes like
I
this.
sit by Tayshaun during these games, right? Back to Ron. And yesterday was the first time. There was a possession where they shot 4 threes, I believe, on one possession. The last one was a throw over to Jaron. He shot it from the wing, and he missed it, right? They got the rebound, timeout. Now they're all coming back to the huddle. It is the first time this entire season I saw him scream. And as they were walking back to the huddle, he said, I am sick of these mother. Yeah, I mean, he was mad.
See, that's
mad.
That's
And
love for the game.
it was to the point where when he said that and he like balled up his fist and whatever, that I looked over at Tayshaun and we were both like, oh, like you broke the kid. You know what I mean? Like he's been happy-go-lucky, just kind of go with the flow.
That's what it is.
But he was sick of it.
And having that losing streak like that, that's gonna be the
Well, that's on national TV yesterday. That's humiliating.
yeah, it's kind of bad.
You know what I'm saying? No Anthony
That do something to
Davis.
you.
That's
On Martin
kinda
Luther
bad.
King Day, it's the only day Memphis gets the
But I
spotlight.
gotta say, if any Memphis Grizzlies listen to this is the time to stay together right now. I'm talking about through these tough times. Because, hey, they go to sleep on you right now, they're going to be waking up on your bandwagon. I just saw it happen a lot of time. What year was this? 2010. Remember they brought Mike Finley in. They brought all them guys in.
Steph in, brought a whole bunch of guys in.
But we had to win like so many games because we wanted to get a matchup.
Yeah.
Right.
Doc River pulled me in, and he said, yo, it's your time.
Right.
I played the last like 12 games, 14 games of the season, and played all the way to the finals until I met Kobe Bryant. That's what he said. Moral of the story, I stayed ready. I stayed knitted into the group. I could have easily just, I ain't playing that many minutes. They brought Mike Finley in. I don't want to hear that shit. I could have probably went that route. I didn't. Stayed in that gym. Shout out to Darren, too, from the New Orleans Pelicans. He kept me in that gym at night. We shot a gang of the threes, a gang of conditioning drills. Just kept my body ready when my time was called.
He was ready.
I took advantage of it, man.
He was ready.
And that's how it's going to be somebody like that in that locker room that's going to turn the season
Yeah.
around for the Grizzlies, man. I just need everybody to just stay connected, man. For real.
I've
that's
heard
how
you,
that works.
I've heard you mention KG in the past. The whole what you said about Boston earlier. That I only wish I could have gone 2 years earlier. Right? Do you have any other regrets career-wise?
No, I don't have no regrets, man. I played my whole career on how I did it. I wouldn't do it any other way. If anything, I just kept drinking coffee. I kept drinking Gatorade. I drank all the Red Bull. Like, I didn't drink none of this so that I can be toned and I didn't want to be super wild. Bro, can you imagine? Bro, y'all never saw me in practice, bro. The same thing in practice was worse.
And
I was better in practice. Yeah, I was better in practice because, you get the rest.
Is that just from inside?
Listen, bro.
I never saw him sit down.
Sub me. You
I
couldn't,
never saw him
couldn't sub me.
He
You
never
couldn't come
sat down
say,
in
"Hey, look,
practice."
bro. Man, Doc
He
Rivers was
never
like,
sat
Kevin,
down.
sit down. You gotta get baby, bro. And I would be here like, make me sit down. Who want it? Oh man,
Literally
I was
had to run
an
the
animal,
court.
dog. Oh
Push him off the
man.
court.
Wait,
bro.
Doc
Ask
is
me,
asking you to
And
stop
I'm asking
practicing?
me, he's telling me, get out, get off, baby sub, and I was just super competitive. But you know what? Everybody in the gym is super competitive. Man, we
feeling
would
it.
practice, and he would have to lock the balls up because we were talking about playing green and white for money.
Again.
We were talking about lock the. But and listen, y'all laughing? Dog, we was in the weight room. It was 15 guys in the weight room. It was like a club in there. Shirts off, throwing up 150. He throwing up 120. I'm throwing up 130. You push, the next man would push you, bro. Bro, it was a different time too, bro. We was rock stars, and we lived like it.
He the first person to
Straight
taught
up,
me how to
man.
sumo squat.
Straight up. We was
put-
doing a
I
bunch
put-
of workouts
I put
in
that
here.
my routine,
Straight
too.
up,
You know,
man.
you
Everybody was in
always-
shape.
Sumo squat?
For legs.
He'd
for
come
legs.
right before you run out or whatever. He'd grab like a 40-pound dumbbell.
It get a little 10 pop. But when you playing, it gives you a pop. You right, man. Listen, man.
I stole that too.
Listen, bro.
Now, was this all just from inside? Was this all you yourself? You say I didn't drink coffee. I didn't drink Red Bull. When you talk about, did you ever have like a walk into practice and man, last night was late. And I'm just not feeling it.
Some days we did it with no sleep. We came in, man. I ain't even slept. You ain't slept. Watch stuff from kill y'all from the put this on. Right.
That's the
home
mentality.
care. And I come in, I'm dripping. Before guys come, you can't come in late wiping your eyes. Oh no, we ain't had none of that. When I got to Boston, guys was at practice 2 hours before we was trying to practice. That whole
time.
15 every time. We came back from Rome, dog. It wasn't. I think I was late one time because TA told me to take some sleeping pills. I had never in my life taken sleeping pills.
Melatonin.
He gave me some melatonin. I had
That's the first
never
time he
did
ever
this.
took melatonin.
I came in, I said, man, TA gave me some more. I ran to TA so fast because they thought something was wrong with me. Like, man, Ticket in that practice, what's wrong with
Hey,
you?
Ellen Sir come to me like, yo, what did you give Ticket?
And I just gave him some melatonin. Man, I
just
came in
gave
like
him
3
some
hours late, bro. I came in. I haven't slept in like 5 days, though. And I said, man, what y'all doing for sleep, man? I said, y'all doing anything for sleep? Like, yeah, man, I take these melatonin. You gotta take them early, killer. And I took them at like 1. I couldn't sleep, man. I woke up at like 7. I woke up at like 11 o'clock. Like, man, that was the greatest sleep ever. Ella Sir was like, Kevin, man, we waiting on you at practice. I was like, what? I cussed everybody out. My girl was pregnant at that time.
man.
Oh man, it was a terrible day. But that was
They
the only
got on
time
my
I could-
head. I couldn't hear
I
the end of
ran
it.
TA, I had to. TA, man, what you give me last night, man?
Have you ever taken melatonin again?
No.
Never.
No.
One time.
No, I did it one time, dog, and I got nervous after that because I
funny,
couldn't
man.
control it. Like I couldn't control. Like if I can't control it, bro, I can't have that in. Nah, I'm cool.
You can't be it.
But I wanted to be out of control when I played. I wanted to be energetic. If I wasn't hitting everything, okay, cool. But the energy got to be here. And then too, if I had a team, man, where if I wasn't doing well on offense, man, let me go ahead and 100% D tonight. Ooh, cool. Y'all go ahead and score. Let me get y'all open. But down here, he ain't. Turn that water off, killer. Okay, I got you.
Turn that water off.
That was the sound of me. That's how the guys just talk to me. Hey, killer, turn that water off. Okay, I got it.
Is that where you got that?
And that would mean lock him down.
That's where you got it?
Well, with Zach,
He brought it to Memphis.
Kyle, whoever.
He brought it to Memphis.
Tim Duncan,
Turn
all
the
that.
water off.
Man, turn that water off. Cool. Now I'm in my zone. Everybody know. I got dirt. Okay, cool. He finna lock this down. We need to
We are
hold
now
this fella
sitting
down.
with the originator.
Turn that water off, killer.
He just got you with the whole turn.
But see, I took
wait, did you get he with us from him?
Oh no,
he with us.
That was Rick Davis. Rick
That was
Davis
Rick
started
Da-
that
yeah,
in
that was a long
Boston.
time ago, long
and
time
Paul Pierce took it and just ran with it.
Ran with it.
Paul Pierce would say everybody was with us. If you shooting free throws for the game, you don't know nothing. Oh no, he with us. and then she was my friend. But part of being an asshole was like everybody had to be an asshole. So now here TA he with us, and here go Antoine, he with us, and then I swear all Celtics. So when I came in there, they was like, we was in practice and God had to shoot the free throw. Oh no, he with us.
He with us.
And I was like, what? And we had just traded for those guys the year before, so I had Mark Blunt, I had Rick Davis, so I understood it. So I was like, oh, okay, that's where this coming from. He with us.
Are you now that you've had this Area 21, which has been a massive success, right? And you've been involved with TNT so much. Did you suspect that this is what you were going to be doing post career?
Nah, and people know me. People that know me know I'm unfiltered. Like, you know, if you come up and you disrespectful, then I'm gonna check you. It's like I start with respect and I end with respect. You know, I'm from the South. I got two sisters, a mom. You know, they taught me to open doors and be a gentleman first. But in the league, man, you have so many times where people trying to take from you and just expect you to be on go on all times. So I'm just like to get some understanding with people. So people that know me know I'm unfiltered from that point. That say excuse me, stuff like that. So when it came to interviews and being able to conversate, I know I'm a conversationist, but he noticed I don't feel everybody's vibe. And I don't go in there thinking everybody's gonna feel my vibe. So I'm very conscious of that. This is about learning and being taught about who you're interviewing and giving exposure to things that you're passionate about. And that's all Area 21 is for me. It's a channel that I'm able to bring in my favorites and some of my guys who people might think are rough or think something else on them. I come in and just show them another sunnier side of why I love this person or whatever. So in the studio stuff was all about just doing interviews and being in the studio. This year is about going out, doing different things on the road, having more exposure on the road, being in more in-game situations, seeing different arenas and different players, talking about the WNBA, putting a lot of their stuff on this platform, showing them what they're doing. They do a lot of cool stuff in the offseason that I don't think a lot of people know. So I'm always trying to tell a story of basketball through no gender, through no color or none of that. It's just straight up basketball, and these are the people, men and women, that's doing it. So I say it's a success because I have a lot of people that are fans of it, but the things that I'm able to put on the channel and able to promote is probably the biggest success. Sue Bird getting a player personnel job in Denver. TA having a radio show, coming on, talking defense with Kenyon Martin and Perk and all the guys, playing Jenga, having some of the rookies. Kuzma came on, like just different stuff to where it's not getting boring and it's still stimulating.
What do you think you were going to be doing? Do you think you were going to be involved in basketball?
Actually, I thought I was going to own the Timberwolves. To have a piece of the ownership and be able to mold that whole thing. And then Glenn reneged on that when Flip went in the ground, and I had to make a pivot. You know what I'm saying? I had a bunch of business stuff going on.
Is this still something you want to do? Own a basketball team?
Oh yeah.
It is.
I'm setting up for the future to be able to be in an ownership position to where I can give guys like TA, guys that I know that know basketball, real sound positions in organizations that I need. I think a lot of times we have a bunch of trainers and guys who play D3 and D2 and never played basketball, teaching these elite players, these $200 million players. You can't be a $200 million player learning you can learn from a trainer, no disrespect to none of the trainers out there, but in order to be elite, you got to get it from the wax. You got to get it from somebody who's been in that.
You can't talk about it if you ain't living.
That's who needs to be our assistant GMs. That's who needs to be our some of our player personnel development guys who can come in and actually give 2-3 hours towards a guy's progression. So
There
I'm working
are
on
there
that.
it has
working on that.
skewed back with analytics and with
analytics,
everything that
Yeah.
has come up.
Yeah.
There have been less of the former players being involved in
Yeah.
powerful positions.
And it needs to be. And I'm looking forward to women being in management, being in some of these investment groups. That's coming. So the integration of all of this new stuff that we know to be new is coming. So I'm trying to be the first to set that off and be the one to initiate that.
So in terms of the last thing, all of these guys, as soon as they walk away, it's that, and you probably more so than anyone in the world, you've got to find something competitive. A lot of guys end up going to play golf. Unfortunately, a lot of guys go and gamble, right? Or they just got to find something, some kind of outlet for, you know, that competitive juices, right? Those still all exist, and now I want to go I want to go compete in something.
I work out Monday through Friday.
That's it.
And when I hit the weight room, it's like matching up with somebody. I'm matching up against these 120s today, and I got 8 to do. And then I'm catching the mirror after this 1-8. Then I'm looking at how I'm looking. Then I'm hitting the treadmill, and I'm doing my sprints. I'm jumping off. Okay, 120s. We at 130s now, and that's why, you know, that's why I'm able to. If I'm able to compete against something, that's what I'm able to pivot from. You know, I don't get to, every now and then, you know, I walk past a court or I walk past the gym, and I'll see somebody in there that they'll say something to me that I'll go in there and get somebody a bucket and get out of there. Like, I'm good for that. I'm always good for a couple buckets.
When was the
you know?
last time you played basketball?
I played basketball probably 2 months ago. I was walking past some in Lifetime. Kid said something real cute. I went in there, boned his ass, and walked out. and that's why I keep the dust off this thing for all you bums out there thinking it's sweet. Straight up and down, bro.
Want to hear another funny
I'll
story,
never
man?
get it messed up, bro.
Hey,
Straight up.
hey,
I don't play against
CB.
nobody. I'm done with these ones, but I keep
CB.
I keep it polished. You understand?
This is at Lifetime Fitness.
Straight up. What?
Yo.
What you say? Yeah, ooh, man.
Yo.
Check. Jump
Yo,
on my
you
ass
know,
out
you
of
know
here,
why
man.
I believe that
work
story?
on your game.
You know why I believe that, Chris? I saw him play Austin Rivers when he was like a junior in high school.
Right.
He got like a bucket on ticket.
No. Let me tell the story.
Go ahead. Yo,
So
crazy
we come
story.
into practice probably 2 hours